What's good, Breach fans? Bryant Cook, and I'm back with Gruul Breach. A lot of you checked out Monday's video, and if you haven't, you can find that video in the card above. It's a great video. It's already skyrocketing in views. It's probably going to pass the first one. Go check that out. As of right now, that is my default Breach deck, but tonight we're playing a different kind of Breach deck, a Toxic Breach deck, possibly the most toxic deck in Modern. Unintended. Of course, I'm talking about Venerated Rotpriest, a brand new card from Phyrexia. All will be 1. For 1 green mana, you get a 1/2 Phyrexian Druid with Toxic 1. Whenever this creature deals combat damage, your opponent gets a poison counter. Okay? And then whenever a creature you control would be targeted by a spell or an ability, or I'm sorry, it's just by a spell, not ability. So whenever they would be targeted by a spell, that target opponent gets a poison counter. So with Venerated Rotpriest, you can use Ground Rift to target your Venerated Rotpriest over and over again. Your opponent will get poison counters equal to the number of spells played that turn. So an interesting aspect of Venerated Rotpriest is that the poison counter ability stacks when you have multiple copies. So if you have 2 Venerated Rotpriests, you only need a Storm count of 5 to win with the Ground Rift. Okay. But you can also target them with Grape Shot. So all it cares about is being targeted. The Grape Shot can target them. Even if they die, it doesn't matter. The trigger is still on the stack and your opponent will lose the game. So that's really interesting. So we have 7 different ways to target our Venerated Rotpriest. But we also have 4 copies of Summoner's Pact to search them out of the deck and then create really nice wins. Summoner's Pact actually plays a dual role in this deck by going to get Goblin and Archimancer. We're still a Storm deck, so we get to do the Dragon's Rage Channeler Underworld Breach combo that you can find in that previous video that I pointed to a few seconds ago. So we get to do that. In post-board games, our opponents are going to have a lot of 2 things. 1, graveyard removal, and the second being targeted creature removal for the Venerated Rotpriest. We get to dodge that by being an Empty the Warren stack. So Empty gains a lot of value here. In my previous video, I felt like Blood Moon overperformed, so I'm playing 3 copies of that here. 3 Lightning Bolt, 4 Veil of Summer, 2 copies of Beseiju, and I really went into depth on some of these sideboard choices in that previous video, so if you want to know a ton about that, really go check out that video. But the TLDR is that this doesn't care about Chalice of the Void. Veil of Summer has just been an overperformer for me. We need spot removal for things like Adelanto the Great Rebel, and obviously Big Dregs. If you watch that video, I cast Gigantha, I believe, 4 times in 5 matches. It was amazing. So that's my short and sweet deck tech. I hope you enjoy it. I can't wait to infect people out of the game. This deck is toxic. All of the good memes. Post your good memes down below. But for now, I'm going to hop on in, play match number 1 so I can get this video live and uploaded tomorrow, which will be Wednesday. Thanks for being here. I do appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed this Phyrexia All Will Be One video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, exclusive members-only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, sideboard guides, early access to videos, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, such as theepicstorm.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicstorm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Welcome to match number 1. We're on the draw and we've opened up a land or a hand with no lands. It just doesn't cast spells. We are forced to mulligan. Okay, I can get down with this. Keep. Let's get rid of the Desperate Ritual. Misty Rainforest. And the opponent's just passing. Underworld Breach, obviously a very good card. We will fetch with the Wooded Foothills, grabbing a Stomping Ground. And Abundant Harvest. They're going to mill me. Not very nice. They land. Another fetch. I'm going to keep the Bauble because I need it for Storm Count. With this Rotpriest. Okay, they fetch a Watery Grave. Hedron Crab. And a Polluted Delta. Mills a couple copies of Goblin. Take a draw. Desperate Ritual. So we're looking at a hypothetical win next turn. Play the Venerated Rotpriest now. And I think I'm supposed to sit on the Bauble. Maybe not, because the Breach Bauble is probably enough to win on its own. Alright, I've talked myself into it. Let's see the top card. We don't need that. I'll fetch again. So, I mean, if they have another archive trap, they would have had to have drawn it, or else they would have played it last turn. So I think I'm okay with this. What I'm concerned with here is a Tasha's Hideous Laughter just ending my entire world. We mill 3. Okay. So now we'll draw off Bobble, going down to 29 cards. Dragon's Rage Channeler. Field of Ruin. Okay. Uh-oh. Oh, I still have 8 cards in deck? What? I'm surprised by that. I thought that card would have decked me for sure. Okay, let's try to win this thing. Ritual. Manamorphose. Red. Red. Okay. Underworld Breach. Storm 4. Thank you for milling me. I appreciate that. Cast a Manamorphose. Red green. Play another Ritual, I suppose. Play another Venerated Rotpriest. Let's exile the Ground Rift. Just in case. Play Channeler. Ground Rift. Auto Yield. Auto Yield. We'll leave this on top. And Rotpriest combo. Match 1, game 1. This is how we do. Okay. Our opponent loses the game because they have 10 or more poison counters. Should I be trying to Blood Moon them? One thing that I really found in that previous video from last week, once again, you should go check that one out, is that Blood Moon and Empty overperformed because I had Strike It Rich. This deck list can't afford to play Strike It Rich, even though it would be very good with the Rotpriest. So you might be thinking that Veil of Summer is a slam dunk, but all of their best cards don't target. So that's actually not as good as you might think. One thing we could do is just board out the Underworld Breach because they tend to have a lot of graveyard hate. I know that seems crazy, especially when we just won with Breach, but I'm not against it. Am I crazy for wanting to try Moon here? I might be. I guess one thing that Veil of Summer does well is it does protect my Rotpriest. And if you're boarding out the breaches, maybe you can board out Dragon's Rage Channeler. I'm getting like really deep into it now. Okay. Are you allowed to... Yeah, so I think one flaw in the game plan here is that Grape Shot isn't good when you board out Breach because there's no Galvanic Relay to support it. So that's 56 cards, which means you could board an Empty now. 58. Okay, we'll board out 1 Goblin, I guess. We'll bring in 1 Breach. I think his Breach just wins the game if it doesn't get hit by Surgical. Shave like 1 Abundant Harvest, I guess. We'll try this out. You're not really allowed to board out the Storm spells. Like, I know I boarded out Grape Shot, but it's just like, if you board out too much of that stuff, like I can't board out Ground Rift because if you do, you'll struggle to find your Storm spells. I guess that's what I'm trying to say here. No lander, we have to mulligan. I mean, I guess we keep. Alright, I'm really, really hoping that we just draw Blood Moon. Send them back to the Shadow Realm. Draw for turn. I'm going to go grab the basic, I think, in case I draw the Blood Moon. Or maybe that would tip them off. Yeah, let's just grab Stomping Ground. Play the Rotpriest pass. Did not reveal Blood Moon. Did reveal Ground Rift and Underworld Breach. Watery Grave. Extirpate on Underworld Breach. Okay. They have 3 cards in hand. Surgical on Ground Rift. Okay, they have 2 cards in hand. We'll take a draw for turn. Blood Moon. Bobble. So let's bobble ourselves now, because if I don't like the card on top, I can just fetch it away immediately. Yeah, we'll get rid of that. Alright, let's cycle this Manamorphose. Give me the potential of ripping Moon here. Red-green. Ding dong! Hiya! Take that. Get in there. Draw off the Bobble. And I regret not having my basic forest that is now in my graveyard. But we do have this Gigantha that's starting to look okay here. Also, we have 10 turns to attack with Venerated Rotpriest. My opponent is congratulating me on top decking Blood Moon. Thank you. I worked really hard to do so. Gigantha. Hiya. Field of Ruin. Ritual. I'll take land 5. Get in there with the Rotpriest. Another Veil of Summer. I really should have fetched that basic. I didn't want to tip them off to the Blood Moon, but maybe that was just ridiculous. Big Dregs. Rotpriest doing damage. Love to see it. Draw for turn. If I draw a Manamorphose, I'm just going to sit on it so I can protect my things with Veil of Summer. Did you draw Surgical? What are you thinking about here? Oh, they're just tilting. Okay. Swing. They're now at 5. Anti-concession. So we've won our first match with the combo. Second game, a little bit of Blood Moon Giganta action going on. Love to see it. Get put in the dirt. Mill by Venerated Rotpriest. We're 1-0, 4 matches left. Let's try to, win some more. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, Scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks. Match 2, we're on the draw again, but we have a pretty spicy hand that's just begging to draw a Storm spell. We're going to keep this. Arid Mesa, not a super big fan of that. Could I face a deck without a lot of removal? Okay, let's just fetch immediately, cast this Abundant Harvest. So the play patterns of this deck are a little bit weird because typically you want to just fire off all your spells as fast as possible, but you want to hold some things for Storm count. We'll say non-land. They don't really need another a Summoner's Pact. We'll play the Bauble. Pass to them. Oh, although I guess the one nice thing is if I draw a Ground Rift, I'm very close to a win. Sacred Foundry. That's kind of scary. They're likely on burn. I mean, likely on burn isn't guaranteed to be burned, so I'll wait until their upkeep to use the Bauble. See what they're working with here. Ox of Agonis, so they're likely Dredge. Did not see that coming. Okay. Yeah, if I draw a Ground Rift for a turn, our opponent is straight dead. We have 2 opportunities between the Mishra's Bauble and our draw step. Please, deck. Ground Rift. Ritual. Grape Shot also does it. Turn 2 win without Underworld Breach. Ritual. Ritual. Manamorphose. Green. Summoner's Pact. Go get the Venerated Rotpriest. They don't need to know about the 2 in our hand. And now Grape Shot. So they'll take 2 poison. We'll target this over and over again and they'll be dead. Turn 2 win, baby. Love to see it. Turn 2. This deck is sweet. Our opponent just said, yup. Yeah, that was awesome. Do I even board here against Dredge? I'm not sure if I do. I think we might just resubmit. That was sweet. Game 2. We're on the draw versus Dredge, and well, we have a good one. I'm going to keep this. Opponent with a very fast mulligan to 5. Leyline of Sanctity. I didn't board in the Besejus. And empty is in our board. So I have to attack in order to win. I mean, I have channelers and stuff. It's not impossible. Play Foothills. Actually, no. Let's just get the Rotpriest in play. Oh, I don't know how to collect cards. Ignore me. I misclicked there. I meant to grab the forest. When they're just passing. Okay. We lose this game by 1 toxic or 1 point of damage. It's on me. I guess technically I would have been able to cast Abundant Harvest this turn too. Path to Exile. Sure. Go grab our forest. I mean, we're very much in this. They're passing. Ground Rift. Gigantha. Pass. Gigantha being our backdoor out to Leyline of Sanctity. We'll fetch with the Bloodstained Mire. Draw for turn. Summoner's Pact. So that gets the Goblin. But it doesn't actually do a whole lot else for us. Desperate Ritual. I mean, it's really my own fault. I could have boarded it empty or Beseiju, and I just wasn't thinking at all about Leyline. Desperate Ritual resolved, and now we'll play the Gigantha. Do you have Path to Exile number 2? No. We'll take a draw. Channeler, that's a good one. So this attack would put them to 14. Channeler. Abundant Harvest. Surveil. Land can go to the graveyard. Non-land. Bobble will give us Delirium. Love to see it. Target. I don't really want to draw land. I mean, there's no reason to sit on this Manamorphose, so let's cast it. Red-green. I'll pass the turn. We can save these ground rifts to get the Gigantha through. And I don't think I necessarily need to breach to clear my graveyard. Like, I want Delirium for this Channeler. They found land 2. They're at 12 now. They're about to go to 11. Tapping for red. Cathartic Reunion. Discards Pyroblast. Stinkweed Imp. They hit a Creeping Chill. They did hit a Nox of Agonis. No Conflagrate. They put a Ghoul into play. So that's going to trigger for a Prized Amalgam. So we want to kill this Ghoul, because if I don't... Ooh, I actually want that. Can't draw a card this turn. If I had played Breach first, I could, but that's annoying. Put it on top. Swing. Pass. So now the Amalgam comes back. We'll draw off the Bobble. They hit a Narcomoeba. So now another Prized Amalgam. It's worth noting that the Ground Rift doesn't affect Narcomoeba because it says without flying. I do have Underworld Breach and a Grape Shot, though. Okay. Red. We need them to not hit Creeping Chills. Nox of Agonis. Discard their entire hand, draw 3. So they're going to get probably 15 draws or 15 dredges here. There's 1, 2. No Creeping Chills. Okay, I think we can do this. Wow, okay. So, step 1, we'll cast Summoner's Pact. Land to the graveyard. Go get a Goblin. Cast another Summoner's Pact. Land to the graveyard. Go grab another Goblin. Play the Goblin. Underworld Breach. Another land to the graveyard. Desperate Ritual. Remove 3 lands. Want to make sure that our creature stays delirious. Fisher's Bobble. Dragon's Rage Channeler. And now we'll Ground Rift their creatures. Land to the bin. And our opponent has conceded the game. Take that, Leyline of Sanctity. Gigantha beatdown, and we are 2-0. 3 matches left. Let's see if we can keep this winning streak going. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and mana tokens, as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. On the draw again, but we have a very good hand. We'll keep this. Ideally, we'd like to find land number 2, which we have Abundant Harvest for. Are you on Merfolk? Or is this Mill again? We found land 2. Okay. This might be Mill. Play the Channeler. We'll pass the turn after that. Mill or Merfolk? Which one is it? It's Mill. Twice in one league is odd. We milled Grape Shot, Underworld Breach, Ground Rift. Ritual. Okay. We're 1 mana away from a win here. Grab another Stomping Ground. I think we have to go for the win. Well, then I guess it doesn't hurt to play the Ritual first. Surveil. Keep that on top. And now we have a win. Keep the Ritual on top. Red, green. Let's go get the Goblin out of the deck. We'll mill that one. There's another one. So now we'll play Goblin. Ritual. Another turn 2, looking pretty good at the moment. Underworld Breach. Mill that. We don't even need to do the combo this game, I think. We'll play another Channeler here. Summoner's Pact. We get 2 Surveils. They have not seen the Venerated Rotpriest yet, so I'm not going to show them. Actually, that's foolish. We're going to have to surveil more cards. Let's just get the Rotpriest. It's fine. Ritual. Okay, now we just Grape Shot twice. There's the Ground Rift. Target you with a Grape Shot. 2 new winning on turn 2 could be so easy. Target you. Not super in love with my mill matchup. Okay, so that Grape Shot resolves, and now we need 1 more. I guess they already saw the Ground Rift too, so if our opponent had a Pulse, they would know about the Venerated Rotpriest combo. Okay. That's really good. Yeah. I think we want the Blood Moons again. I'm not actually sure about the Veil of Summers. I'm going to try no Veils. I'm going to cut 1 Grape Shot for 1 empty for surgical equity. Take out the Abundant Harvest. That card isn't necessary. We're going to couple Veil, I guess. We'll board out 1 Goblin. Let's try this. I know that I'm boarding differently from last time, but I'm trying to expand my knowledge on what I'm doing. I mean, this is my first league with the deck. I don't exactly have solidified game plans. I mean, this hand's could be another turn 2. It requires our opponent to help us in order to win turn 2, just to point it out, but I still think it's a keep. The 1 forest not being a mountain is a little bit weird. Rune Crab. Really wish this was a mountain right now. Play Bobble. Play Bobble. Forest. I do think you want a basic forest in this deck, though, because there's a lot more green. Okay. Hedron Crab. I will be milling 6. 3 lands. Bobble them. They have 3 cards in hand. Another crab. Can I get a land? I could try to breach into a win here. So we would go Ritual, play Breach, escape once, play Channeler, and then I could escape again. I think I'm going to go for it. Pyretic Ritual again. Underworld Breach. Surgical on Grape Shot. That's fine. We don't need that to win. I think if they had Surgical, they should have fetched and tried to rip out my Underworld Breaches. Okay, so now we have to Ritual again, so remove some lands. Channeler. Play the Summoner's Pact. Surveil. Mill the Veil. What to do here? I think it's probably another Venerated Rotpriest. Although, if I find a Ground Rift, my count's probably lethal. I don't know how much it actually matters. I'll get the Goblin. Remove Veil of Summer. Bobble. The Summoner's Pact. Surveil. We hit the Ground Rift. Oh my. What a lucky mill. Manamorphose. Bobble. Manamorphose. Desperate Ritual. Mill the Ritual. We're going to make green here. Because that way I can protect the Rotpriest with Veil of Summer. Play the Rotpriest. Ground Rift. Another turn 2 through Surgical. We have Veil of Summer. Wow. This deck is insane. actually just insane. Same targets. We're 3-0. Have not dropped a game yet. Have not dropped a game. Stick around for match 4-5. I'm feeling really confident in this deck. If you're still watching, make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Card Hoarder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us. Match 4, we're on the draw again, 4th consecutive time being on the draw. That said, we're looking at a possible turn 2 win here. I'm going to keep. Alright, not likely going to be a turn 2 versus Steam Vents, unfortunately. Oh, it's Living End. I guess that we would need them to not have Grief or Force of Negation. They cycle Street Wraith. And there's the Grief pitching Architects of Will, so very good start for them. 3 creatures. Yeah, the graveyard on the first turn. They take my Channeler. Okay. They have 4 cards in hand. Draw for turn. Desperate Ritual. Let's get a peek at that top card. Is it land 2? It is. So we will not fetch because we obviously want the second land. A Ground Rift for our draw for the turn would be lethal. Alright, so they cycle Architects. They have 5 cards in hand. They have not made their land drop yet. They play a Scalding Tarn. Surprise, surprise. We will go pick up Stomping Ground. Come on, Ground Rift, please. Draw for turn. Another Rotpriest. Play the land and pass. Our opponent cycles Street Wraith. They're down to 14. 13 now. Surprise, surprise, they grab a Breeding Pool. Ideally, they would not have land into Cascade Creature, but they've actually drawn a lot of cards so far. So them having land Cascade Creature is pretty likely. There's the land. And there's Shardless Agent. So they are getting back Architects of Will and Grief, so they can discard our Breach here. But the Breach actually isn't what's important. It's drawing into a Storm spell that would win the game. We also have to make the assumption that our opponent doesn't have Force of Negation. We just can't beat that card, so there's no point in trying to play around it. They discard the Breach. Alright, on their end step, we will fetch. So that way the Architects rearranging our top cards does not matter. Grab another Stomping Ground. Come on, Ground Rift. Abundant Harvest, I don't think that does it here. Desperate Ritual. Surveil Trigger. Is that actually good? I'm going to assume no. It would give me a land to play the Abundant Harvest, but that's just not worth it. So we can Summoner's Pact here looking for that Ground Rift, and we'll put this on top. With this on the stack, we'll cast Manamorphose. Keep the Ground Rift. Now we'll make green. Summoner's Pact. Grab the Rotpriest. Play Priest. Play Priest. Ground Rift. And this is a turn 3 through double Grief and an Architects. Put this to the graveyard. Target. Hell yeah. Take that, Living End. Boom. Okay. We're going to board in Veil of Summer. I have seen Leyline of Sanctity in this deck before, so I'm interested in Besage You. I'm also interested in Blood Moon, because if we can just stop them from ever achieving their game plan, that's very good for us. We're at 69 cards right now, real nice number. But I think we're actually supposed to take out Summoner's Pact. Yes, it gets Venerated Rotpriest, but against a Force of Negation Subtlety deck, it can actually end up being very, very damning for us. So we're going to get rid of this. We don't want Empty versus the Living End deck. 65 cards. Take out the Abundant Harvest, especially when we boarded up 2 lands up to 17. Don't know what to board out here. I feel like it's 1 Goblin. Although we only have the 2. I could board out another land and just play 16. Try that, I guess. We're on the draw. Reveal Gigantha. Yeah, this hand is amazing. Keep. I mean, I wish that the Grape Shot here was an Underworld Breach because it would be a turn 2 win, but Keep. Leyline of the Void. Okay. We do have the Rotpriest combo to beat this. Draw. Another Ritual. Stomping Ground. Play the Channeler. They cycle a Riverwinder. They also opened up on a basic, which is bad. I mean, it's bad because I boarded in triple Blood Moon. Yeah, now they have a fetch. But even if I had Blood Moon, I wouldn't be allowed to jam it here. Get in for one. I could try to win this turn. It's just, I think we're very easily disrupted. So the question is, if they untap and Living End, am I in any better of a spot? I just don't think I'm capable of winning right now is the issue. So I could look at 8 cards trying to find the Rotpriest. Screw it, we're just going to go. I lose to Force or the Subtlety here. Travail. Put land to the graveyard. Ritual. Manamorphose, because I feel like this is likely to draw to Force if they have one. Land to the graveyard. Manamorphose. Red green. Play another Ritual. Land to the graveyard. Okay, getting a little nervous here. I don't have Veil of Summer, unfortunately. They cycle Architects. They force pitching Shardless Agent. We are forced to pass the turn. They have 3 in hand. They grab a basic, so they're playing around Blood Moon. Land for turn. And they have it. They have Architects. I'm going to concede. So I don't want them to look at a possible Blood Moon and have information for game 3. So that is our first game loss. Should I be boarding in empty? It's just not good versus Living End, but they have ley lines. I believe the answer is no. They opened up on a hand with Leyline, Force and Negation, and a turn 3 Living End. I mean, that's a pretty above rate draw, in my opinion. Not that it, like, people have good draws. I'm not trying to set all salt off here. I'm just trying to say that it was above average, and we shouldn't expect a similar draw in game 3. Yes, I'd like to be on the play. Reveal our Gigantha. This is a brutal one. Mulligan. Do I go to 5? They would need to not have Grief or Force and Negation with this hand. I think I'm supposed to go to 5. Probably the best hand we've seen. Okay. There's Leyline. So they opened it in their 7. Fetch. Play the Channeler. Pass the turn. Spirebluff Canal. And they cycle Riverwinder. 3 Wraith. Okay. And they have turn 1 Grief. Sometimes Living End just feels like it's too good, but it's not. Like, the deck is... I mean, I hate the deck, don't get me wrong, but sometimes it opens up on draws where it just feels like it's unbeatable. This is a very good start for our opponent. They had a very good start in game 2. We're not out of this yet. We're just in a tough spot. Interesting that they took the Ritual. We don't necessarily need them knowing about our Stomping Ground. Come on, no second land. Boo. Boo. Alright, I guess we're rooting for Blood Moon here. Not it. Play the Stomping Ground. We'll attack for 1. Yeah, I mean, our mold to 5 just wasn't good enough. In theory, I could have chosen to hold Channeler and just play Veil of Summer, or hold up Veil on turn 1. But I don't know how much of an impact that would have made. And now they have the Shardless Agent. Yeah, we're not winning this. I don't have enough resources to win with Rotpriest. And we can't win with Breach when there's a Leyline. Bummer. Draw for turn. Womp womp. We got our first match loss. Unfortunate. So now we're 3-1. 1 match left to go. Let's just finish strong and get that 4-1. With Card Hoarder, renting your favorite combo deck has never been easier. There isn't a more affordable solution for Magic Online. Want to play the deck in this video? Check out the pinned comment below to easily rent the deck from Card Hoarder. Did you know you can rent the Epic Storm from Card Hoarder for as little as 7 tickets a week? We've made it simple to do so by including a button to rent the entire deck at theepicstorm.com/decklist. We are on the draw for the 5th match in a row. No die roll wins this league, but we're still doing quite well. I mean, we're 3-1, playing for, 4-1, not bad. And we've opened up a hand that pretty darn good, so we're going to keep this. We do need land number 2, but this hand has a lot of potential. Blood Crypt. Okay. We found our second land. I think I'm going to play the Bauble. I was thinking about holding it for the storm count, but we're likely to draw a spell anyway. So let's just play it out. Maybe it helps me win a little bit easier on turn 2, assuming that I'm allowed to go for it. Land. Dauthi Voidwalker. So Underworld Breach is no longer an option. Ritual. Do I want that? I think I do. Alright, so another Ground Rift, Summoner's Pact, or Venerated Rotpriest win the game. Grape Shot also wins the game. So I have like... Okay, let's do the math here. 3 Rotpriest, 3 Ground Rift, so that's 6 cards. Summoner's Pact, that brings us up to 10. Grape Shot is 13 cards that win the game that I can think of off the top of my head. Let's fetch to thin so we can increase our odds just a hair. What other cards could we possibly draw here? I think that's it. We'll grab the Forest. Draw. 13 hits. Land was not it. Play the Stomping Ground. We'll pass. I'm worried because now our opponent can leave up removal. Okay. Season Pyromancer, they're giving me another window here. Discards Fury. Please deck, still 13 hits. They're tapped out, which is a big thing for me. But we have 13 hits off 1 Manamorphose. And in order to go for it, I have to Ritual first. Or else I don't have green open. I'm going to pass. If I had a Channeler, I'd probably go for it. Because then I get the Scries before the Manamorphose, but it's just not the case here. So I'm taking 6 down to 10. They're choosing not to attack with the Elemental token. Okay. Weird, but that's fine. And they're leaving open 3 mana, so I have to assume that they have Terminator Lightning Bolt now, which was a concern of mine. But I just didn't have the... I mean, I could have gone for it last turn off just Manamorphose, but it didn't seem correct. Another Ritual. We're just drawing blanks. Is there anything that they could play to kill me? They could have like Bolt plus one of the Undying effects to kill me. I'm just going to play Land Pass. No end step Lightning Bolt. Now they swing for 6, so this will put me to 4. Another land. Draw step. Jeez Louise. Ritual. Ritual. Manamorphose. Green. What does this do? Assuming that our opponent has nothing, like they need actual nothing in hand. Their 3 cards need to be just blank cardboard. That is a win. So you might be thinking, why not Grape Shot the Dauthi Voidwalker? This is Red-Black Scam. They have at least 8 Undying effects. So we're just going to play the Rotpriest. Ground Rift. Lightning Bolt and Terminate both do it here. Okay, so... Auto yield. Technically, our opponent didn't need to kill the Rotpriest because this isn't lethal. So now what they can do is kill it in response to Grape Shot. Trigger? Do you really not have anything? Did we just win this? No way. No way. Wow. Unbelievable. Okay. Let's bring in our Veils. Empty. I mean, I kind of like Bolt for dealing with Dauthi, but it's a lot of cards coming in. Get rid of the Abundant Harvest. 65 cards. I'm going to board out the Summoner's Pact again. I just don't want to go all in on a creature and then die. So I think that's a fine board out. Now we're at 61. We'll board out 1 copy of Ground Rift. On the draw in game number 2. Revealing Big Jegs. Don't think I'm supposed to keep this. I also really don't like the idea of mulliganing against the Grief deck, but this hand just isn't good. Screw it. I think the one thing this hand does well, and it's going to seem silly, but it's true. Having 4 lands means that a drawn Underworld Breach at any point wins the game. And they just passed the turn without doing anything. Okay. We'll fetch. Stomping Ground. Play the Channeler. Pass the turn. Yeah, they just accidentally skipped their turn. Come on, just play Ragavan and pass. Boo. They removed Fatal Push, which is interesting. They must have an Undying effect here. Yep. Quite the draw. So now we're down to just a ritual. Underworld Breach is still a very good draw for us. Bobble. Play the bobble. Surveil trigger. We can get rid of that. Swing. We'll pass the turn. So you don't want to use the bobble now, because if your opponent has another grief or something, you don't want them being able to discard the card off the bobble. So we're going to wait until their end step to use this. Blood Crypt. They definitely accidentally skipped their first turn. No Dothy Voidwalker. Big fan of that. Lightning Bolt. Unfortunate. They have 3 cards in hand. Target ourselves. Don't want another land, so we'll fetch down to 12. Which means that Grief is a 3-turn clock. Okay, we'll draw a card. Grape Shot. Underworld Breach. So I can fetch here. Gives me 8 cards in graveyard. I just don't think that this is a win quite yet. I'm going to go get the Forest and put Gigantha in my hand, I think. Okay, pass the turn. Yep, I'm at 7. Come on, Seasoned Pyromancer. That's what I want to see here. Yes. Okay, so they're giving me a window. Discards a Grief. It's our time to party. Play Desperate Ritual. Underworld Breach. Start off by playing the Channeler. Okay. And now we will escape the Ritual. Definitely removing Lightning Bolt. And I think we might as well remove the other 2 rituals, because we still have a ritual in graveyard. We'll surveil this away. 3 mana. Lightning Bolt the Grief. Ground Rift can go to the graveyard. I need to think about this. They have 2 cards. So if I escape the ritual, remove Arid Mesa, Ground Rift Bolt, I go up to 3 cards. Don't think this wins. But I don't have to remove the bobble anyway. I'm just trying to, like, I can't cast 2 Grape Shots this turn unless I, like, draw Manamorphose or mill Manamorphose. That doesn't do it either. Alright, I think I'm supposed to just play the bobble. I don't see a world in which I can keep going here. So now I'll Grape Shot, target them. We get a Surveil trigger. Get rid of the land. I am going to kill the Seasoned Pyromancer because they still need 2 lands to bring it back. Or not bring it back, but make the elementals. The 5 mana ability. Okay. It's not perfect, but we've done some damage this turn. Literally and figuratively. Alright, so we'll bobble them. Let's see what their draw is going to be. A land. And now we can escape the bobble. I don't think I want that. Maybe I do. We've already played a lot of spells this turn. We'll bin it. Okay, so we're going to pass here. Underworld Breach is going to graveyard. So we'll have creature, sorcery, enchantment, and then bobble in play, which can be our 4th type for Delirium. We draw 1 card off the bobble. It's a ritual, so now we can play Gigantha next turn too. They played the land. Goodbye, Channeler. Even if I put bobble to graveyard, the Channeler would have died. And your last card is a Dashed Ragavan. That's annoying. I'm going to 5 here. And it's a Veil of Summer. That does nothing. See what your top card is. Thoughtseize, okay. Draw off the bobble. Draw for turn. Could be better. We'll play Wooded Foothills. Ritual. Gigantha. Okay, so they have Thoughtseize, Ragavan. And they're just passing. Okay, take a draw. Is Underworld Breach a good one? Alright, so we know they're 2 cards. And I can even use Gigantha to make mana if it's the right play. I'm not sure if it is, but something we're allowed to do. Play Breach. We'll replay the Channeler. Remove Breach. Venerated Rotpriest. Ritual. They have the Thoughtseize. Yeah, it's definitely... Okay. So I can fetch once and go to 4 and keep myself out of Lightning Bolt range. Oh. I just lost a life for no reason. Well, I guess it's going to make me delirious, so that way I can block Ragavan on my turn. Get in there. Or on their turn. I misspoke. So the Breach goes to the graveyard now. Our opponent is trying to pay cost, but I know both of the cards in their hand. Oh, it's the Seasoned Pyromancer. I missed that. My bad. I didn't realize you could do that at instant speed. I'll be honest. That didn't occur to me. They're hard casting Grief. We're not in a commanding position here. Ooh, they didn't attack with the elementals. That's interesting. Because I'm at 4, they could force through 1 damage and then I have to double block Grief next turn. I can't even double block. We drew another Underworld Breach? Holy moly. What does this do? That is insane. That is such a lucky rip. Play Breach. Another Grape Shot. So I can play Bobble here. Should I swing in the air first? Just not sure what to do. They've used 2 bolts already. So if I swing out, they block with an elemental. Their hand is Thoughtseize Ragavan. I play Mishra's Bobble, remove 3, Surveil. I could fetch down to 3, putting myself dead to bolt, and then Grape Shot. But if I make that play, I'm dead to the elemental plus the... I guess I'll just play the Bobble now. I guess that's free to do. Oh, it's not free because I lost Delirium like an idiot. Yeah, I should have attacked first. Whoops. They have another Seasoned Pyromancer coming. So I'm going to go to 3. So I now have Delirium back. Let's swing. So now they're going to 6. And I have to kill the Grief here. Because it requires me to block with 2 creatures. Surveil trigger. We can put that to the bin. Same targets. Okay, come on, Lightning Bolt. That's what I want to draw here. Draw off Bobble. Not quite. They Thoughtseize me, so now they're going down to 5. I'm sorry, down to 4. And they can play Seasoned Pyromancer, discarding the Ragavan for 1 elemental. They have 1 card in hand. Draw for turn. The Rotpriest doesn't really help me all that much. Like, it blocks an elemental, I guess. We'll pass. So if I swing here with the Gigantha, they have to block. And then they could swing back at me with the Pyromancer and it puts me in a weird spot. I think I'm just going to pass. Another Seasoned Pyromancer. They're digging deep. Discards another Thoughtseize. They play a land, 1 card in hand. So they can swing out here and put me low. I mean, I'm going to block. Okay. Can I just draw Lightning Bolt, please? Or Manamorphose into Lightning Bolt? Ragavan. Oh, they got the draw too. That was a good play. I didn't even realize that. Draw. What does that do here? Nothing, and I'm just dead on board. Yeah, they got me. All right. Game 3 coming up, and I have 7 minutes. Not a lot of time. Not going to change anything, just going to resubmit. All right. Reveal Gigantha. Keep. The Hills will play Bobble. Pass the turn. Swamp. Am I getting griefed here? Feels like a grief. No grief. We did see Fatal Push. Veil of Summer is certainly welcome. We'll pass the turn. Bitch's Thoughtseize. Grab the basic. Veil of Summer. Breach number 3. Okay, it's a lot of breaches. The Grief goes to the graveyard, so they didn't use an Undying effect. And now they're going to Fury. So this is a fast clock against our hand that doesn't really do anything. Yikes. Wish I had a Lightning Bolt here. I mean, I don't, so a Lightning Bolt would not answer this now. They have 3 cards in hand. Okay. I might burn an Underworld Breach just to bobble here. Empty. What does that do? So I can go Ritual Breach, escape once. That doesn't do anything. Play Breach. Escape. I'm doing this now for information. Gothy Voidwalker. Okay, so should I Ground Rift for an extra card in graveyard? I think I'm going to. 5 minutes on the clock. The bauble reveals Breach number 4. Classic. Oh, so bad. We are not in a good spot here. I'm at 10. Draw. Another Ritual. That's decent. Okay. Play the Breach. We need 1 Ritual here. So now we get to make 10 goblins. Alright. We need to start chump blocking the Fury too. Their attack, we'll throw 1 goblin in front. Another Fury. That's brutal. They pitch Seasoned Pyromancer, so they have 3 cards in hand. We know one of them is Gothy Voidwalker. Yep. Wow. Another Fury plus Undying effect. That's insane. I mean, I know that they play Fury plus Undying effects, but having back-to-back is just heartbreaking here. Wow. Draw for turn. We'll play Channeler. So, am I supposed to play Breach into Bobble here? I feel like I am. So this is 5 cards. Play the Bobble. We only have 5 minutes on the clock. Get rid of that. Pass the turn. Not super likely to win this. And they're all, oh my, they just drew a Thoughtseize for Breach number 4. No! Ah. The problem was I didn't feel like I could win if I just passed the turn. And now they're going to Thoughtseize me. So brutal. Fatal Push. I mean, that's just as good here. So they had a lot of cards they were sitting on. This Ritual would have won it. I mean, that's not fair. Because if they didn't play the Fatal Push, they would have Thoughtseized me. There's no way to win here. Yeah, they just got me. All right, so we finished 3-2. The last 2 rounds were against Living End, which I don't know if we were underprepared for. Like, our board doesn't have any graveyard hate in it. Maybe we could fix that. I'm not sure if you even want to. Living End is like less than 2% of the meta now. And then Rakdos Scam, which we made it into a close match, but our opponent in game 3, they got us. It happens. Game 2 was a really close game as well. We just didn't get there, unfortunately. So only a 3-2, but this deck felt super good. I mean, the first 3 matches were all insane. The last 2 matches, we had a lot of fight in us. We just didn't win. So this deck is nuts. 3 turn 2 wins is nothing to scoff at. I was really impressed. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching. Have a great day and keep storming. Hey, Bryant Cook here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, but also follow the social media channels down below. If you want to support this content directly, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/shop. And if you need a little bit of assistance with the Epic Storm to get to that next level, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/tutoring. Don't worry, there's more great content coming right up.